Hey, what do we got here? We got the Love Them Knives channel, LTK, talking to you. Wee Knives, Sea Monster. See the monster? This is the Sea Monster. It comes in different colors. Yes, it does. I got the gold with the purple hue instead of the purple, or instead of the regular titanium, or whatever else options come out there. So I got this one. Yeah, I thought it was really flash, really cool. I saw these when they came up on the mass drop, and a couple of viewers said, hey, you gonna grab you one of them or what? And I go, I'm broke. I can't do it. It was $250 something, this and that. And I go, yeah, I'm gonna have to hold off until later. And now is later. So here we are later. I got one in my hands because I just had to check it out. So I got this knife in my hands. This is made by Wee Knife Company. It's called the Sea Monster. This is the Wee 713B, this particular one, because it's gold. Okay, black stonewash on satin, Bowler M390 blade, and I'm sure they say it somewhere in here. Yeah, right up in here. M390. So, they got good steel? Yep, they got good steel. Hey, how about this? Let's cut a piece of paper. Okay, that'll work. I guess they put a blade on this knife. But when I first got the knife out of the box and I opened this up, so check this out. How long is that? Let's check it out, because I'm just trying to tell you something here. Okay, so basically you've got a 5-inch handle, okay? Kind of like Fancy here. I mean, she got a 5-inch handle, so big old handle on her, right? But Fancy has a 3.4-inch blade, or at least so near there too. I flipped it open and I go, where's the rest of the blade at? It just doesn't look proportional to me. Does that look proportional to you? Look at it. That doesn't look proportional to me. Okay, I mean, I don't know. There's just something that's kind of missing here. This one, it just looks like a really long and winding handle. And there's another thing about this. I think the bottom of this blade should be down here somewhere. I mean, this blade should be taller. Should be down about that far. This flipper tab probably doesn't need to be that tall. That's pretty tall. It could be a little less tall. Of course, you're kind of meeting it here at this wave, but... And you're doing this for the Sea Monster effect, right? So it's kind of cool, and it's got some traction there too, and so do these sides here. And it's kind of cool that we did this design to begin with. I think it was a flight of fancy. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it was an attention getter. I think it was not as successful as they had hoped. Because M390, yeah. Titanium, yeah. The anode, the Pimpalicious, yeah. But that blade is just, I mean, this just feels like the blade should be like down here somewhere. I mean, deeper here and longer here. And here's the problem though. You can't. I can already, and this is to be, just kind of as a warning here, put your finger there. I mean, some of your flesh will, deform and go inside the slabs, right? I can touch the blade. I mean, I can feel the edge of the blade. If I did this really hard and quick, I'd slice the tip of my finger. So we've got it all that we can do, and maybe a little, just a skosh more than maybe we should have, actually. So how do you solve that? How do you solve that design issue? Because this needs to be a longer blade. Check it out. Let's take a look at it. It's, you know, depending on where you want to measure, again, you know, 82 millimeters, okay, which is maybe 3 1/4 at best inches overall. Come on, let's get to it overall. So 8 1/8 and even a 1/16 over that. So 21 centimeters. Okay, so let's talk about 21 centimeters. Let's just take a regular full-size cut jack. How many centimeters is this? Less than 21 centimeters. It's got a full 3 1/2 inch blade. You know, and it's less, it's a shorter length than the Sea Monster is, but it's got more blade. Not 82, but almost 90 millimeters. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got a lot of blade here, and look at how small that blade looks in comparison. Okay? But they're basically the same length of knife overall. It just, I mean, look at the height of this blade. And this is nothing, you know, like all that unusual. But look at how thin this one is. It's just, I don't know. It was, you know, the Sea Monster was on my list of, I gotta have it. And now it's on my list of I don't have to have it anymore. So I got it out of my system. I'll tell you that. You know, and I'm not trying to tell people not to get this knife. I think if you dig the design and everything, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with the knife except proportion and aesthetics, I guess. You know, I mean, you can talk about these humps here and how they may not be perfectly ergo or whatever, but yeah, it's okay. This is fine. This is probably not your typical ranch and hunting, camping type knife. You got a nice big choil here. The other thing that you should think about if you've got a taller blade is that you have a taller grind here too. So, I mean, if you have, let's check this blade. So you got a 4 millimeter thick blade, 0.155, something like that. So you've done this, where this one is like a 3.2 millimeter, lot taller grind on it. So this is definitely a slicer with some piercing capabilities. This is a design fancy knife. It is not really, you can do some slicing and stuff, I guess. Although you're going up to these 4 millimeter flats pretty quick. You're not giving yourself a lot extra room. Of course, you know, compare it with flat grind. What are we talking about? What else we got? See? But still, this is not as thick a blade stock. This is just not. So, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. The flipping action is great. Detent's not overly strong. Come on, baby. Open up. Let me try that. The pass through, it's there. You can get to it. Okay. So you got titanium. Looks like titanium screws, hardware, backspacer, pocket clip. Did the whole thing. got this kind of fuller going on here, which I don't mind. I don't care. Hole at this end, hole at this end, one smaller, one larger, that kind of thing. I'm not huge on blackened blades, but I guess they're trying to give some contrast here, which is, it's okay. It's fine. Let's see how much this thing weighs. I mean, it's not that huge, and the blade, you know, fits in here pretty well. If you would have made it a little taller, maybe it would have been straight across. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I'm not a knife designer. 4.8 ounces, so that's not that heavy. 136 grams. Not bad. Not bad. Oh, let me pull some information down here. So this is the Sea Monster. This is what I got. Blade HQ, 713B, 3.3 inch blade at best. And 8.25 overall, 3-inch cutting edge. You know, M390 trailing point, and yeah, 5-inch handle, that kind of thing. Handle thickness, well, the weight is right, so there you go. A unique serpentine design. Yes, it is. Yes, indeedly. Absolutely. Yeah, I like the blade materials, ceramic bearings, that kind of stuff. Here's your rest of your specs here. Just nothing more than manual, frame lock flipper, you know, that kind of thing. Made in China, of course, We Knife Company. Yeah, and it comes with the, well, hold on, you know, pouch, like the rest of the We Knives usually do in this class, with a microfiber cloth and all that. And of course, you don't need a specialty tool because this is all Torx. So that's kind of nice if you were not in love with those proprietary hardware screws. And yeah, I think for a while I really liked the proprietary screws and stuff, and now that I'm seeing the non-proprietary, I'm fine with that. In fact, I'm probably prefer not to have them. I mean, you've got a lot of mill work, you've got a lot of machining here, you got a lot of design fancy going on here, anodizing, this and that. I'm just, and you know, up here, it's kind of strange. You got these little cutaway areas on both sides of the top. It's fairly smooth, but I mean, you know, obviously it can give you some degree of traction, and the front choil, so you can really get up on here. You could do some fine cutting. I guess my biggest complaint is just the proportions. It just looks like it has a small blade for a big long handle. And how you solve that problem, I don't know, because you got all the blade that the handle will handle. It may be a function of, you know, how much is exposed here. Not a lot up here, and how this is all put together. I mean, you got a blade stop there. If you did a different type of setup here with the pivot, could you move it forward? Could you have more blade? And then that kind of thing, I don't know. But this is just not much blade, but you can't put any more the way it's set up. Okay? Now, it's supposed to be a little over 1/2 inch wide here. And that's about 14 millimeters. 0.54, okay. There you go. So if I bitched and moaned enough, I really wanted this one to be cool because I just thought this would be so fantastic to carry around. It's just so unusual, so wild looking. And I missed the master up, and I was kind of woeful for a while that I had missed it. But you know what? Once I got it in my hand, I opened it up. It was just like, where's the rest of the blade? It just feels like this blade ought to be 3 3/4, another 1/2 inch at least. And then, oh God, that was dangerous. And then just a little deeper, because this is kind of weird how high up the beginning of this grind is in relation to here. Especially this flipper tab that seems to come down forever. I don't know. Just me. Whatever. Any case, I'm going to leave you to it. I don't know what more to say other than I wanted it to be a little bit, I just thought the proportions were off, and I wanted to be better than that. Other than that, I mean, you got ceramic bearings, you got a titanium frame lock, you got an insert in the lock bar. You know, the ergos are reasonably decent. Not bad at all. M390 steel, $250 some odd. Okay, you know, but it is what it is. I mean, that's not far off of the mark for a lot of knives in that class. And this is kind of unique. I mean, if you think about Sea Monster, you know, it's kind of set way back here. It's not up here. I don't know. In any case, it works really well. It flips really good. The D10's probably about a 5.5, somewhere in there. But man, it just, whew, the action's really great on this knife. I mean, if I could just get this blade a little bit longer and a little bit deeper, I would love to have this in my permanent collection. Dang. In any case, I like a backspacer too. You know, that's the other thing that I really like about this knife is that backspacer. And then you got a lanyard hole. Right hand tip up only though. So you lefties are left behind again, unfortunately. Well, I don't know. Make your comments in the comment section. I don't know. I mean, if you've had one of these, or if you do have one of these, I mean, you might say, hey, you're full of crap. This is fine. This is nothing disproportionate, whatever. I mean, you know, you're free to disagree. It's just when I pulled it out and I opened it up, and I hadn't seen anybody's review on this knife, so I didn't know, you know, I just had to kind of let my own vision of this knife kind of do its thing. And I was just like, I turned to my wife and I go, does this look right to you? This doesn't look right to me. Does this blade look kind of sharp? You know, it's kind of weird. She's like, why are you asking me? Great answer, right? So, thank you for your support. Yeah, other than that, you know, it's got all the right bones on it otherwise, but it's just, man, I you know, I kind of wish they'd reissue this with change this up somehow, because I'm really digging this part of it. I really like this. And I like, you know, we all like this scimitar type blade and stuff. Well, not all of us, but me and a few others that I know of. And the nice choil and everything, easy flipping, that kind of thing. But I don't know if you could do, well, I guess you can. Okay, you can finger flip it too. I had never tried to do that, but I guess you could do that. So it's not buried so far in. But you know, if the blade was deeper, then this would stick out a little further, right? So it'd really, really, really be easy to finger flick. If it's not already. That's cool. I mean, so much to like about it, but that is just bothering me. And you know what? It always drives me crazy because I got viewers that are just like, oh, you know, if that logo was just 20% smaller, I'd be all over that. If the blade steel was just blah, 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 I'd be all over that. And here I am. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. The same thing that drives me crazy is the same road I'm walking down right now. So I totally understand, you know, everybody's got an opinion. So do I. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to let you go. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. No commercials. You know what we do around here. We love them knives. So stay sharp.